Mean Gene!
MotoMan, I thought you were a Lotus guy.
I am, but today we're doing a case study.
Oh, case study in what?
In cars that should be complete and utter trash, but they are not.
This should be complete and utter trash.
Yes, it should.
But it's not.
But it's not.
Enlighten me.
This car was designed by Nancy Pelosi.
When she was a pinup girl or when she was Speaker of the House?
This car was designed when GM was in bankruptcy. So they took bits from other programs. They took bits from the Buick LaCrosse, from the now
It's
new
like getting
Impala.
a car that was built during a strike year.
But the thing is, follow me on this one. This car, it would stand to reason with that kind of input at that kind of a corporate,
disastrous.
Yeah, it would be a terrible car.
But
it's not. I've driven the front drive, I've driven the all-wheel drive, which this one is. Only thing I can find wrong with this particular one is it does not have a sunroof. Other than that, great car.
Well, that's because it was designed by Nancy Pelosi. She wants a solar roof, not a sunroof.
So, the people, I think, want to see this thing on the rack with you.
I thought they wanted to see me in the rack with Nancy.
Just deal with the car.
Okay, all right. When we discussed the ATS, we discussed this corporate V6. Now, this corporate V6 is going to be available next year in a twin turbocharged model that puts out 410 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque, available at 1900 to 5600 RPMs. And that's a very wide torque band. It's going to have 12 pounds of boost. But the interesting thing is they've redesigned the intake ports to give what they call high tumble to the incoming charge. That means that the air entering the engine will have better molecular separation and hence better combustion. This is the front brakes of the XTS. They have 13.5-inch vented rotors, which is sizable for a car like this, 4-pot Brembo brake calipers, and the magnetic ride control McPherson struts, which we've already discussed in the ATS film. For me, the most interesting piece on this front suspension is this massive forged aluminum fork that mounts the McPherson strut to the steering knuckle and the lower control arm. And because of that, there's no need for any other links in the front suspension. This is the junction where all that takes place. Now, we've had some incredible cars in here lately. A Bentley Mulsanne, an SL, a 911, and quite frankly, I wasn't expecting much from this Cadillac, but I've been pleasantly surprised. The finish and the media blasting on these aluminum forgings are just wonderful to behold. And it gives the front suspension a simple elegance that some much more expensive cars don't have. This particular car has all-wheel drive. And this is a combination differential and transfer case where the all-wheel drive is engaged and disengaged. Well, folks, this is one of those rare times in my life when I'm absolutely speechless. I'm standing underneath the rear suspension of the XTS, and I'm stunned at how robust everything is. The lower control arm is welded steel, and the upper link is a massive aluminum forging. This all looks like it should be on an off-road vehicle, and I don't know what sort of forces the Cadillac engineers have designed this to take, but it looks to me like it's ready for it. You know, I'm very pleasantly surprised with this entire automobile. This may be the nicest American car I've seen in years, and probably in decades. Now, the ATS is another fine car from Cadillac, but that's designed with a whole different purpose. This car is a fitting replacement for the DeVille line, and I can see the type of people that would have bought a DeVille 20 or 30 years ago buying this car today. The suspension underneath it, besides being robust and strong, is very elegant in its execution, if you can imagine suspension being elegant. The exterior of this car, the bright work and the paint and finish, is wonderful. It's as good as anything that's out there. The interior, I really like the interior. It's very elegant and simple, and it's not just Gucci'd up for Gucci's sake. Here we have the front brakes. What model is this? XTS.